Good evening, everybody. Hello. I'm Emmie Mears with Searching for Superwoman. We are talking comics today, mostly because I have a giant stack of them, and I've been wanting to chat about them for a little bit. If you see my cat walk in front of the screen, she is about to lie down on the stack of comics. All right. Want to see? Kitty on comics. Anyway, I'm going to have to move her bed in just a second. Anyway, I figured that today would be a good day to wear my Green Lantern shirt, also because the last time Spouse was at the comic book shop, he also got one of these, so just going with the theme. Come on, bear with me. Anyway, I've been reading a heap of comics lately, and I'm going to start pulling them out from underneath the cat. So, the first one that I wanted to talk about today is the new X-Men series, which is written by Brian Wood and illustrated by, or penciled by, Oliver Coipel, and I've been really excited about this. Not the least of which because it is an all-female line. I mean, look at who you've got on the cover there. Also, quick sidebar, I know the image is flipped here. I don't have iMovie on my Mac because the OS is not quite up to snuff to deal with it, so I'm working on scraping together the funds to upgrade the OS and get iMovie squared away so I can actually flip this and it's not backwards and you don't have to look at X-Men backwards because this is a really awesome cover. Anyway, I've been really enjoying this. First of all, they've done some great things with Jubilee, and when I used to watch the cartoons, I was always kind of annoyed with Jubilee, but I've really loved what they're doing with her, and I don't want to give any spoilers with this, but they've been really impressive in introducing a couple of really great ambiguous characters. You've got John Sublime, and then Archaea Prime shows up. So, I should have mentioned that that was a spoiler. Anyway, but between those two brother and sister alien siblings that have crashed to Earth, there's a lot of tension going on, there's a lot of ambiguity and things that can kind of go either way. And I'm really excited about the continuation of the series. It started in May. So far there's 2 issues out. Here's the cover of the second issue, so you can see that there's a bouncing bundle in Jubilee's life, which is on page 1 of the first issue, so it's not that big of a spoiler. But this, the third one's coming out in just a couple of weeks, so I would encourage anyone to go pick up these awesome books. I've been really impressed with the level of action in them. There's been so much happening and a lot of great, crazy scenes where stuff's just falling to pieces, and also scenes where your heartstrings are tugged on, and these are just really well-written stories. I'm just chomping at the bit to get my hand on the next one. The next kind of group of comics that I've been reading is 10 Grand by J. Michael Straczynski, and the artist here is Ben Templesmith, who is one of my all-time favorites. And you can see his style is very kind of gritty and watercolory almost, and you get just this really awesome range of emotion that Ben Templesmith pulls out of the page. They've done a couple of cool things with this. In the very first issue, they had a multimedia thing where they actually had voice actors come in and record along with some ambience in the background, and you could use the little QR code at the end and just listen to it, go back through and watch the comic unfold while hearing the words read to you by voice actors, and it was really well done. I was actually surprised at how not cheesy it was. It could have been cheese-tastic, and instead was kind of a fun experience. I found myself getting sucked into it. So I would definitely recommend reading this. J. Michael Straczynski is obviously a very well-known writer of comic books, and this is actually a project from Joe's Comics, which you can't really see the logo there, but it's a venture that he's doing to try and bring creative juices just from all different corners of the planet, and to try and give people a chance to write stories that aren't necessarily governed by the giant entities that own a lot of the comic book world. So those are some things that I've been reading with that. Something else I picked up that I've been meaning to pick up for a very long time. I got the trade here of Astonishing X-Men. This is Joss Whedon's line of comics that he did. I didn't actually know until reading this that the plot of these issues, which I think is 1 through 5, or 1 through 4, of Astonishing X-Men. The plot is actually what was used for the X-Men Last Stand, the 3rd X-Men movie. And after I've read it in the books, I was like, this is familiar but awesomer. They kind of, I think, bit off more they could chew with trying to integrate Jean Grey's Phoenix arc into the movie, along with the really awesome idea of the cure for the mutant gene, I guess, being used as a weapon in the film. And I think that they could have done some really cool things with it. But Joss Whedon's version of this, worth reading. Pick it up. It's awesome. Also, when we got this stack of comics, we got this special edition Superman comic, which came out right around the time Man of Steel was released. And I read through it, and I remember, there were some interesting things going on here. Superman gets to do some saving and everything. But at the same time, there were a few things that were a little confusing to me, I guess. Not so much confusing, but I guess I thought that certain things had already been revealed, and so there was one kind of reveal in this comic that I was surprised about, and I wasn't sure. For some reason, I was under the impression that it had already happened, and so when I read this, I was kind of like, what's going on here? But it was kind of fun. It was a freebie. The first issue was free, so it's worth kind of picking up and paging through, especially if you're a big fan of soups. So the last series that I've been reading lately is Willow Wonderland, which is another really cool thing from Dark Horse. It's a continuation of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, obviously, but with Willow as the protagonist. Anyone who knows me knows I'm a massive Buffy fan, and I've liked reading the continuation in the comics. Season 8 was just, you could tell they were just like, we have no budget, we can do whatever we want! And Season 9, they kind of toned it down a little bit and had been back to, putting Buffy where she's at her strongest, which is really fighting the day-to-day evil and just persevering through all of that. And I was really excited to see this branch off of Willow on her own, because Willow is such an incredible character, and there may be some mild Buffy spoilers, large ones even, in this. So if you haven't watched Buffy the Vampire Slayer, I don't know where you've been for the last 20 years, but go watch that and then come back later. But Willow is a character who is so unsure of herself for a large part of the television series. And hey, this is my cat, and her name is Willow. This is Willow the cat. She's like, I heard my name. I'm gonna come see you guys. So anyway, Willow can sit on my lap while we're talking about Willow. Isn't that right? She's like, maybe. Anyway. So I've really enjoyed these comics because you get to see Willow having the kind of agency that I always wanted to see from her in the series. And she is trying to... Spoiler alert! Spoiler! Anyway. So Willow is trying to restore magic to the world after the seed has been destroyed. So she has gone to this alternate dimension, which is definitely Wonderland inspired, hence the name of this little mini-series. But she is on her own, and while she has a couple people come alongside her, she's the one taking care of business. And it's really refreshing to see. I also am really enjoying the storyline with her and kind of where it's taking her character and the level of responsibility that she feels for magic being gone. And also there's some nice undertones of her feeling like she needs to restore it for herself as well, to feel whole, because she doesn't want to revert to being the Willow of perhaps season 1 of Buffy, who, didn't have magical powers and wore weird little frocks. And it's been a really great read. Plus the art is great. I really like it. Let me just I don't want to spoil things. The covers are beautiful. The inside art is also awesome. Quick little thing. Monsters aplenty, and there's some really funny little monsters in there too. So, last thing, and I will wrap this up, because I didn't really expect to go 10 full minutes. This comic. The Run for Your Lives comic. If you are not aware of the Run for Your Lives, It is a zombie-infested obstacle course 5K, and I was registered to run it last year, and then unfortunately I had a death in the family that happened the week of, and I was unable to compete in the race. But this year I've registered again. I'm going to be running in the Maryland race, and even more awesome, since we started searching for superwomen, the wonderful folks at Run for Your Lives have approached us and invited us to join their very exclusive blogger program, the Zombie Preparedness Team. So we have partnered with the Run for Your Lives, and we'll actually be interviewing Kevin Chilcote and Brian Chilcote, the editor and writer of the Run for Your Lives comic, next week, I think. They've got their interview questions, just waiting to hear back from them. And as soon as we get that squared away, I think next Friday, we'll be interviewing them as a kind of combined comic review / Super Speak interview on the website. So I'm not going to talk about the contents of this comic, but I did want to give a little plug for the Run for Your Lives folks, because it's a really cool obstacle course 5K and with zombies. So if you're like me and always say that you'll never run unless chased, this is the race for you. For years I said that. I said I would never ever run unless something was chasing me and trying to eat me. And now I have no excuse, because I'm actually running in a race where something will be chasing me. Yeah. So anyway, Run for Your Lives. If you are interested in joining us at the Maryland race, or interested in registering at all for any of the races, there's bunches of them all over the place, pop over to searchingforsuperwomen.com. We have a handy dandy little code right on. If you click on any of our blog posts, you'll see it in the sidebar. A little badge that just gives you 15% off for registration. So if you want to pop over there, like I said, we're partnered with them, so we are little brand ambassadors now. And we're big fans as well. This comic is a lot of fun. We'll be talking about that more next week. Till then, I've just given you a big stack of things to read, so go to your local comic store, support their business, and gear up for Comic-Con this week, because what better time is it to read a bunch of comics than the week of San Diego Comic-Con? And if you're like me and are sad and lonely and depressed and wanting to eat your weight in Ben & Jerry's that you can't be there, then maybe you should be reading comics instead. Comics are better for the waistline than Ben & Jerry's. Alright, we'll see you later, Superfolk. Tomorrow is Wednesday. Tomorrow we have Christy. She'll be talking, I think, about the book that made her, so definitely stop by. If you're watching this on Tuesday, come and hang out with our Supernatural Roundtable. We discussed the episode 6 through 11 of Season 1 of Supernatural, so come join the conversation. Have a lot of fun for the rest of the week, and if you're at Comic-Con, I hate you a little bit, but I also love you, and I'm jealous. So, bye everybody!